board, if I may be so bold to say, is to look into how to get over this impasse so that the residents get what they deserve, and not to use the open space fund. Thank you.
I'd like to respond to that if I could. It's, as I said earlier, there are two important components here. If we can have some more areas of a nature preserve, a green area that would not be developed, that's great for the community and for the future for our youngsters and all. At the same time, it's been much too long that Springhouse has been waiting for clean water. We all agree on that, and we've had turtle issues and everything else, and we want to get that settled. So it's a twofold thing. We can satisfy two issues there. Springhouse is going to get these wells one way or the other, it seems to me.
Well,
and
they are.
I think the community can benefit from a green area as well, where there will not be a lot of houses there, and then in turn this water district could purchase that necessary well area to satisfy their water needs. And we're not using town money to help Springhouse out. They'll be paying for that, but we're helping both areas. They'll be able to have that access, they'll pay for it, and the town will have a green space. I don't see what's wrong with that.
And also, just
the only thing, if I might, and I'm not going to be premature because the committee has not met on this, and I think there's a lot of discussion that the committee has to go through. And so I do have the chairman over here, so we will discuss it Monday night. Thank you.
And just to add to that, that property is also, as was discussed, quite developable. And that's something that the open space bond was presented to the public to prevent residential growth, to keep the school population down and the amount of residences. So this may actually work out for...
I'll let the chairman handle that.
That was never in the proposition proposal. But I do, on another note...
Millie, do you mind using the microphone so the camera can take the audio? Thanks.
Resolution I have. Oh, good.
Well, they have the resolution because you got it from them.
No, the resolution for the original ones.
Exactly. Oh, right. I'm more concerned that the developer never really he supposedly put wells in there. Obviously, they were never checked or whatever happened. So there's some blame still in the developer, the Roths or whoever developed there. And then they want to build...
Roth didn't develop it.
Roth didn't?
No.
Who developed?
It was someone else. It was different builders, not associated with Roth.
Well...
They happen to own the adjacent property. That's all.
I see. So the developers that developed your house and all the other houses that are in trouble did not do the right thing because they should have you should have dug down and got your own well water and saw that the well was...
We were not allowed to do that, and the town board at that time approved it based upon what they thought was a good decision, which clearly was a fallacy.
Right. Well, I know because I dug my own well in Yorktown, and that's the only way, you can get clean water and enough water. And that's what really these people should have been made to do.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you. And if no further public comment, I move we end.
I just want one last comment. You guys really need to sit down and make a deal. That's the way it's going to be the best for us. If you allow them to develop some of their property and you guys find a way to make this work for us, minimize litigation cost, get them to donate the property to us free and clear to reduce our cost, and add 5 or 6 more houses on there to overall reduce our long-term cost. You guys owe it to us to make a deal and reduce our overall cost for this, while at the same time creating clean water for us.
Wonderful. Thank you. And if no further public comment, yes.
Hi, Lynn Eckhart. I understand the plight of the Springhouse residents because it's been going on for years and years. My question is, and I guess maybe Will can answer this, but how can does it circumvent the seeker process at all? Is there any way the town can guarantee a certain number of lots before going through the seeker process? That's where I'm not quite sure how that would work.
Well, again, we've consulted with the town planner. We've met with the owners. We've taken those steps. Will, is there something, a point you can add to?
I don't think there's anything that the town could guarantee until it went through the whole process. We can't. I mean, that's something that we don't have the power to do.
Exactly. So I think that the impasse might be a lot more difficult to get over than, and I'm not. And as I said, this has been hanging over their heads since at least 2005. Thank you.
And if no further comment, I move we close the public hearing. Is there a second? Councilman Gross seconds. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. I move we open the Southeast Ambulance District Number 1, we open the public hearing regarding the Southeast Ambulance District Number 1, establishment of a special assessment. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. We are in the process, we being the town board, of forming a first-ever ambulance district to serve approximately 55 homes, 60 homes on the Westchester County, Putnam County border in southeast, obviously. With respect to that, we are considering different scenarios by which to gather revenue in order to pay for the ambulance district. The Brewster Fire Department and the Emergency Ambulance Service Corps, which is embedded in the Brewster Fire Department, have graciously offered to serve the community in the district for $7,500 a year. So that's the revenue that we're looking to raise. And in that regard, there are 3 proposals, and I had written everyone in the district about those 3. One being a flat rate, approximately $125 per year per household. One being what's called an ad valorem or an ad val valuation based on property tax assessments. And the assessments vary a great deal, which produced a great deal of variance in the amounts to be assessed for each home for the same service. And a synthesis of those 2, which would be a flat rate and coupled with an ad val component based again on property tax valuation. Is there board discussion regarding these proposals?
I just wanted to ask that the town clerk read the notice of public hearing. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead, Ruth. Thank
Please
you.
take notice that the town board of the town of Southeast will hold a public hearing March 24th, 2011 at Town Hall, 1360 Route 22, Brewster, New York, at 7:30 to consider the final establishment of the Southeast Ambulance District Number 1, the district, and the method of apportioning the costs involved in providing ambulance and advanced life support service to the district, included but not limited to a flat fee, ad valorem, and benefit formula basis, and to consider other issues as may be properly coming before the board.
Thanks, Ruth. Further board discussion? Is there public discussion? Yes, sir. Kurt, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
How you doing? I'm here on, my name is Kurt Goulden. I'm here on 2 behalfs. One is the North Sound Ambulance Corps, and one is a property owner of one of these residents. I've been here multiple times with you guys regarding this issue. In a letter that you sent out to the residents in that neighborhood, you said, we requested $15,000. Please show me that documentation that I asked for $15,000. I've never requested such a high amount. The amount I requested was between $9,000 and $10,000. Back in December of '09, you guys told us that you were going to put in the budget for $5,000, which we agreed on, but it never went forth. Which now you're agreeing on $7,500 with Brewster. How is that saving any taxpayers' money like it says in your letter? Which I also have
Make your point, sir.
I just did.
Okay. Noted. Please continue.
If I could just, I think that 5,000 figure, that was, when was that? You said that was...
December of 2009.
Right.
Yes, it was for the 2010 budget.
Right, and it was before I was on the board, but I think the problem was the town wasn't allowed to give us, you guys the money since it came out of the general fund.
You also were going to make a special district for $5,000.
Well, okay, right. But, well, I don't recall the amount that was discussed, but I think that was the reason why we couldn't give you the $5,000, because it couldn't come out of the special, it couldn't come out of the general fund to benefit a small area of the town.
But I don't see, it says here tax saving amounts to the town. We agreed on 5. Bruce is getting $7,500. And also, in your letter, it says it includes ALS services. ALS services is supplied by the county. So this doesn't include ALS services. This is only for BLS services.
Well, these documents were prepared by council. So, do you have a further point to make, sir?
As a property owner, how are you saving me money?
Sir, the Brewster Fire Department has agreed to take over the responsibility for the ambulance corps, and in the interest of full disclosure, perhaps, as you have indicated, you've had repeated contacts with this board.
Oh, yes.
We can mention that you head up the ambulance corps in Westchester County, and that it was your proposal which began the process by which the ambulance district is ultimately going to be formed.
What happened was we came to you asking for money because we donated these services for 40 years for nothing.
Well, that's not quite true, because you do bill the residents.
We do
their
bill
health
the
insurance,
residents, and we do not get 100% back from the billing.
But you don't do it for nothing.
But we don't get anything from the residents because what our billing is nothing compared to what it costs to operate the ambulance corps. So as a resident, you're charging us for $7,500 worth of work when there was negotiations on the table for $5,000. I think this needs to be open for public hearing for longer, and more discussion needs to be talked about.
Noted, sir.
And you were right, we were in the middle of negotiations, but if I remember correctly, your organization sent the town a letter
Yes, it did.
saying you were terminating a service on a certain date. So we had to scramble and make sure that our residents had an ambulance service to provide them in case they need it for an emergency.
Absolutely correct, because I have copies here of my lawyer's letters sent to the town attorney and the board in January asking to move this process along. We went 5 months without hearing a word regarding this issue, and pretty much get swept under the bus. And I came up here multiple times and gone nowhere. So you left us with no choice. When you told us you were going to do it for $5,000, well, now you're moving on it. Now you're not saving me no money as a resident.
Noted, sir. Thank you.
I mean, I unfortunately don't recall the $5,000 sum that you're making reference to. I wasn't on the board at that time, but I would say that my recollection, I don't recall the $5,000. I do know that at this point, it's $2,500 more than the $5,000, if indeed that was the case. I would just probably like to follow up on, to the extent that there was a $5,000, and I would also agree with Councilman Cullen that at that one point when we received notice that there would be a termination of services, I know that I believe that we had very few alternatives. So that's when we proceeded in that case. Do you recall precisely when there was anything regarding the $5,000 that you're...
Yes, it was during your budget proceedings. I have to look.
2009?
2009 and 2008 it was talked about. And I probably have to look back in my records also, because I only had about a week to put this together. And also, for $2,500 that you'll be saving or spending, the North Salem Ambulance Corps facility is within 2 to 3 minutes responding distance, when the Brewster Fire Ambulance is about 9 minutes out. So you're talking a 7-minute difference in responding when minutes count in some aspects.
I'm just curious, though, when you had you began today by saying that the $15,000 was an incorrect figure.
Correct.
And that what you had really may have stated was between $10,000 and $15,000?
No, it was $9,000 and $10,000.
Pardon me, 9 and 10. So then what happened was the $5,000 figure then had gone up anyway. Would that be an accurate statement?
The $5,000 figure was a thing that the town board had offered to us.
Okay, and you were looking for 9 to 10.
Right, and we agreed on 5 figure, and you know it's better than nothing right now.
And so your recollection is you agreed during the 2009 budget process to the $5,000 figure, although you wanted the 9 to 10.
9 to 10, yes.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Kurt. Further comment? Then, with respect to the point on response times, the Brewster Fire Commissioners have looked at that and came to the conclusion that they are able to safely service the area. So, with respect to ambulance district formation, we need to proceed. If there's no further comment, I move we close the public hearing regarding the Southeast Ambulance District Number 1 establishment of special assessment. Councilman